The show is about to begin.
And the first ball is deep into left. See you later, Alec Bohm. And he sends that one into left center field. That is going to get down. Phillies lead 2-1. Carroll up the middle and a base hit. Rivera around third. He will score.
NLCS Game 7 in Philly? Yup, it happened. David versus Goliath. Game recap time, World Series preview time, and we'll flip through your questions and comments, okay? Let's talk it out on the Foul Territory postseason postgame show now.
You are now listening to Foul Territory. Welcome to the show.
The Arizona Diamondbacks are not a blank team. Fill in the blanks. They are not a blank team. Torey Lovullo had a speech to his troops, and it is an inside joke that was brought on the outside from Paul Sewald. Does anyone know? Show of hands. A blank team. It's below, there's varsity, and then there's
JV.
They are not a JV team. At one point, they acquire Sewald, who's been a stud, and they're going to the World Series, by the way. And they lost, I think it was like 9 in a row. And Lovullo goes into the clubhouse and he's like, sick of being a JV team, whether it was in the division or the league, whatever it was. And Kratz, they're not a JV team anymore. The Phillies were the JV team in their own ballpark for the last 2 games. The freaking Diamondbacks are making it to the World Series in 2023? Wow. What do you know? 2 wild card teams that did something end up making it to the World Series. What a game. And also, they played their brand of baseball these last 2 for sure.
For sure. They dominated these games. Yeah, they were losing 2-1, but they just kept pecking away. They didn't try to hit too many homers. They stole 4 bases tonight, I think. 8 bases total in the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And it was... And they were doing a lot of, they were moving around a lot on the bases and going back to Arizona down 2-0, the way that they got beat by their 2 aces, you'd think the same thing we all thought, maybe 5, it's not coming back. I get it. Garrett Stubbs said, we want to go jump in the pool. We're making a beeline for that pool. Well, now they have time to go find another pool. Somewhere warm, because they're not playing in the World Series.
What happened?
Oh, I'm allowed to talk now.
I'm not in charge.
Well, I don't know. I was getting told I can't talk until all these things happen, so I just want to make sure I'm allowed. I'm not saying that I picked them to win today, but I kind of picked the Diamondbacks to win today.
Yeah, but why? Why did you think they were going to win, and why did they win?
Well, they won because Brandon Pfaadt shoved, and his stuff is disgustingly nasty. And also, they won because they got the lead early. They got up 1-0 in the first inning, and then second of all, they ran their offense, which is they say embrace the chaos. They stole 4 more bases tonight. They were running all over, and their bullpen was lights out. I mean, that was the difference. Their bullpen was lights out. Ranger Suarez finally gave up some runs in the postseason. Corbin Carroll showed up with 3 hits. Ignited them, scored the first run, stealing bases. They just took it too for the last 2 nights. We didn't think this was possible. The Diamondbacks took it to the Phillies in Citizens Bank Park, quieted the crowd, and played their game, which they hadn't done for 5 games. And somehow they were still 3-2. What's crazy is they probably should have been swept. It was literally Alec Thomas homer, and I don't know how they won Game 4, but they did. It really is an incredible story that they're going to the World Series. They were the 6th seed, right? They gave up the game the last day, right, to be the 6th seed. And the Rangers were the 5 seed going in, I believe. So to have the 6 and the 5 seed in the World Series, I mean, this one to me, though, is kind of mind-boggling that they're there. And people are going to say, Torey Lovullo and the Diamondbacks, we're a good team. We know you're a good team. But to beat the Dodgers, a team that's crushed them over the years, to go into Philly and win 2 games, something special.
So our the purist, or I don't even know what you'd call them, but someone going to complain that there's wild card teams in the World Series?
I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
No.
I mean, these teams just got beat. Now, for Philly, for me, and I mentioned this on Foul Territory during the day, as we check out highlights here, Craig Kimbrell lost them 2 games. Fact or fiction, right? Like, if that's Paul Sewald, the game's over. They're the wrong guy in the end of the games.
Maybe Jerry DiPoto should have sent Sewald to the Phillies instead of the Diamondbacks.
That's right.
I don't think Sewald's given up a run, has he?
I don't think so.
This postseason?
Him and Ginkel.
And
That 1-2 punch is lethal.
Oh, Ginkel's filthy.
Yeah.
Ginkel's nasty. But everyone was mad when they were down 0-2, and guess who came on and showed up on Foul Territory? Paul fucking Sewald. You know what? Paul fucking Sewald. I said it when he came on. I said it at the time, and Kratzy, you were with us. I gave him so much credit. I said, guys would have canceled this interview. Guys would have said no. What did Sewald say? We still got a chance. We're going home. We got a chance. Here they are going to the World Series. Good for them.
And they're going to be underdogs in the World Series, too.
Well, no one plays the underdog role better than what the Diamondbacks are playing it right now. Torey Lovullo's living that up, and a bunch of young guys. Tommy Pham, his attitude, what he brings. Jace Peterson not on the roster, but I saw him in the fight tonight. We talked to him about it. He was in the fight, sitting there right next to Torey Lovullo and the coaches. And we saw Brett Strom. He was pissed when Saul Frank threw the 3-2 curveball to Pache. Like, I get it, man.
Oh, my gosh.
These dudes are in it. These dudes. And the best part of them going to the World Series, there's a certain guy that has to retire. Hopefully he's already retired on MLB Network.
The MLB
okay, Chris
employee?
Russo, guess what? You gone!
There's no chance he retires.
No, he won't because he's too scared. He's all talk.
There's no chance. Oh, he also.
Hey, somebody's got to keep receipts. Somebody's got to
$1
keep receipts.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we're keeping it right now. Get
look,
out.
there you go.
Go away. Bye-bye.
Look at the comment. No, that's a fact. Whoever wrote that, Scott Brown, that's a fact.
Scooter Brown.
Scooter Brown.
It's not happening. I do like how they asked Lovullo about it, though.
By the way,
He was
Frankie
like,
Baseball
looking forward
crushed
to
it, by the way.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
he did. Corbin Carroll crushed it, too. So he had a quiet series. Even when he did get on, which was rare, people were like, dude, you going to run? You saw dozens of pitches over at first base and wasn't moving. And then he was Corbin Carroll tonight.
He was awesome.
He was awesome. And he was 0 for 10 against lefties. That was fixed. It just all came together. I mean, they didn't play good ball, Arizona, in the beginning of this series. So usually in a longer series, things are going to come around. And yeah, Kratz, I mean, Phillies had their shot in Arizona. Once they came over to Philly, they still had their shot. But, I mean, you're right. This could have been done in 4 or 5 games tops. And it wasn't. Arizona kept up with them.
So much credit to, like AJ said before, fought. Like, there's no doubt that without him, they would have been swept. His performance in Arizona, whether he was taken out early, 9 punch-outs, and then to come back out again tonight when everybody, including myself, was like, oh, you see this guy a second time, they're going to get to him. Well, Bohm got to him. Stott got to him. That's about it. They didn't get to him. He punched out. I think he punched out 6 again tonight. 7 again tonight. 16 punch-outs in 2 games in the playoffs. This guy, he's not going to be the MVP because Marte's going to be an MVP. But the craziest thing, I got a text during the game, and they said, why did they let Ranger face Corbin Carroll? Corbin Carroll was seeing him good. And I said, well, I felt like the first 2 were kind of weaker hit balls that, his speed beat it out. Ranger Suarez had never given up in one appearance 3 hits to a single lefty. That's crazy. That's crazy that it happens in this situation, but it's not crazy that it's Corbin Carroll. Rookie of the Year. They don't have an MVP on their team. They have a former top 4 MVP, but they got a Rookie of the Year, and this dude might just be getting hot at the right time.
Should they have used Wheeler sooner?
For when?
No.
What?
No.
When?
don't
I
know,
love
as
what
soon
Topper
as-
did tonight.
As soon as Suarez comes out.
I
guess it
no,
would've-
because Hoffman's been their dude.
Yeah, he gave up a run though.
Yeah, he gave up a run, but did you?
He was warming up for 8 hours.
Well, that's true. But also, what was it? Righties were hitting 129 off of him or something for the year. Like, that's your dude, and he's pitching these situations. The way Topper did it tonight was as good as you could have done it.
Yep.
I mean, listen, Corbin Carroll, we're showing you right here. Corbin Carroll got a 2-out hit, right? They were down 2-1 at the time. Ties the game. They bring in Hoffman to face Moreno, and he does everything. I mean, shoots him to right. I mean, just a nasty pitch, shoots him to right here, right there, right? And you're not throwing Corbin Carroll out. People say bad base running by Moreno, but that's exactly what you want to do. You trade the out for the run to go ahead right there. It was like everything the Diamondbacks did offensively, defensively, the moves Torey Lovello made were just right for 2 nights in a row, and it happens. Now, who hit the ball? Marte hit the ball to right that Castellanos might have been playing a little bit shallow on.
Yeah.
Right? But, I mean, you're not expecting him to hit a ball like that to right field that far. I mean, listen, sometimes you just get beat, and it's tough. And Philly's not the place where they talk about it. We're Phillies, we're not supposed to happen. But sometimes you just get beat, and sometimes it happens. And tonight, listen, give the Diamondbacks credit, man. They just beat them.
They need to score runs too. I mean, you can't put up these 2 days of offense in Philadelphia and expect to win. And I know it's getting chillier, but hitter's ballpark, like you can't score two.
Well, Harper, I think we were all texting back and forth, and Crouchy, I think you'll agree with me on this, is when it got to, was it the 7th inning, 8th inning, 7th inning? Harper came up, and you're like, against Ginkel, you're like, oh, we're going to have a replay of Suarez from last year, right? And he hit that ball a million miles in the air, just missed it. But, I mean, it was all there for the Phillies. I mean, they had the right guys up at the right time with the right matchups. Turner and Harper against Ginkel. It was a great matchup, and they didn't come through. Dude, baseball's hard.
Baseball is hard. No matter how good you are, no matter how good you think you are, like this team was built to win, and the Phillies team they're going to be around. They're not losing that much. I know Nola's he's a loss, but I think Jordan Montgomery would look good in pinstripes. I think the Phillies have the cash to push around some money to some starters, or maybe they re-sign Nola. Who knows? But this team, this is going to sting for them. There's guys on this team that are sitting in this locker room shocked right now, and I don't know that you're shocked too, AJ.
I don't think there's other than a hardcore diamond. Gosh, what was the guy's name we had on the other day?
Derek.
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 He's even shocked.
No, he's shocked.
Because I'm watching his Twitter, and he's even shocked.
Dude, he's shocked.
The guy that Papelbon's like, I'm betting you all. Or he's like, Papel's like, I bet you, and he's like, I lost
our watch party.
I lost all this money to Pap.
This was the year. There's Julio. As a Dodger fan, Philly should have known better to use Kimbrel.
Not really. Kimbrel was great for him.
Yeah, yes. I know, but that's what you look back on. For me, that's what I look at in this series. You blew games late, not 1, 2. It's true.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, they have other high leverage arms.
I know, but gosh.
Yeah,
man.
but they got the outs earlier in the game. The high leverage arms. I mean, my phone is blowing up with my buddies who are saying they should have never gone to Kimbrel, and I would go to Kimbrel. Well, it's the same guys that are saying, oh, I should have, you shouldn't have taken Suarez out here or there, or you have Kimbrel in that bullpen for a reason. Because
he was your guy all year.
He is a guy. Yes, he had struggles. Everybody had struggles. Shoot, Alvarado had a 1.72 ERA. He was sent down to AAA. Like, Hoffman started the season in AAA. There's just, that's the kind of stuff that happens. In bullpens, you don't have 6 Mariano Rivera's or 6 Paul Sewalds in this last inning here. Like, you have to use your guys. The way that they were deploying it, you have to use your guys, and it didn't work out. And you have that. It's like Chapman. It's like Aroldis Chapman. He's not real good in those situations. Oh, really? Or do you just remember the times that he's lost it, the times that he's blown it? That dude's out there all the time. Those closers are out there all the time. And good or bad, you gotta trust them until you can't trust them. And sometimes it comes back to bite you. But the offense needs to show up more than 3 runs in the last 2 games at Citizens Bank Park.
Whose fault is that? I mean, Castellanos was ice cold, but he did so much for them last round, spilling into game 1 of this round. That is who he is. You know, him not swinging a bat well for 4 or 5 games is not abnormal at all. He's a streaky player. So, I mean, who do you look at and go, damn, so-and-so really needed to do more for the Phillies
Diamondbacks pitching. Diamondbacks pitching. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, they left 15 guys on base. To me, they did a great job, and this might be a Brent Strom thing, especially when we saw how pissed he was about that pitch from Saul Frank. Like, it might be a Brent Strom thing where he's had experience making game plans in the postseason, in the World Series when he was with the Astros, and they were mitigating this lineup. They were saying it's okay if so-and-so gets a single. It's okay if we pitch around this guy to get to that guy. Like, I forget who, what, was it still Fought was in there when, they pitched around Marsh, who to me, he had 2 hits in the series against Fought, but it was both to Tommy Pham, who was limping around, the double that got past Tommy Pham, and then that one that kind of dinked in. But they were like, they came out, they talked about it, they pitched around Marsh. No, they didn't come out. He just gave him one of these, like, hey, think about it. Pitched around Marsh because they knew they had Rojas. I think too many times in series, especially the Rangers, when they were trying to get around Jordan, I didn't think that they were doing a good job of getting around the right guys in the lineup. And they're always bringing lefties in to face these high-powered lefties who the matchup didn't necessarily – yes, it was a little bit better versus lefties, but pitch around a Jordan. Don't let him beat you. Don't let Kyle Schwarber beat you. Don't let Bryce Harper beat you. And they didn't. But when that happens, you're going to have 15 guys left on base. 15 runners left on base. That's a lot. Because they knew they could make the pitches to the lineup, to the areas in the lineup that were going to be most advantageous for the Diamondbacks. I said it when they first won against the Brewers, and some guys kind of shocked that they beat the Brewers and Corbin Burns. But I said, this is the 2014 Royals. Everybody thinks they're a speed team. They can hit a couple dingers here and there, and they can run.
How about Mike Hazen, general manager of the Diamondbacks? You just look at some recent moves. You want to go from most recent to further back. I mean, we've talked a lot about Seawald. Pham has been a nice addition for them. In the offseason, also, by the way, even before we get to their last offseason, Madison Bumgarner was on this team. Doesn't it feel like he was on the team like 20 years ago? He was on the team this season. Madison Bumgarner is going to get a World Series ring, another World Series ring if they win.
I mean, it would have been great if you still on the team. Bumgarner versus Bochy.
Yeah.
2010 Giants reunion. Who you got?
I think Bum could have made it as a reliever if he, committed to it. I just think it's not his style. But what a freaking roster construction from Arizona, right? I mean, they tanked. They were rebuilding. They've had rookies plenty that have contributed. I mentioned before too, Ginkel was optioned this year in June. Did you know that?
Was he really?
Yeah.
He still had 60 appearances.
He was sent down at some point, and it's not like
he was the closer. He was the closer, wasn't he?
He's been the closer whenever he's down there in AAA. He's been up and down. Trust me, I'm an NL only fantasy baseball player, and I've followed him hoping for saves for years, and he just never could latch onto the job full time. So I got to give this team credit. I mean, even Longo, right? Like they signed Longo in the offseason. They said he's been great for everyone, and he's played well, and they've utilized him for the most part in the right spots. Christian Walker is one of the most underrated players in the sport.
Yes.
Nick Ahmed was on this team earlier this year. So
What was the shortstop they brought up?
Jordan Lawler.
Jordan Lawler.
He didn't play well, and it was a small sample. So
No, I know, but they tried to.
He's going to be really good, though.
Yes, he is. But didn't Perdomo made the All-Star team, didn't he? And they were trying to.
Perdomo made the All-Star team. He was great in this series too. I think he was 7 for 24.
Yeah, made great plays defensively, stole some
bunts.
bases.
Yeah, he fits their brand of ball. That's what Perdomo does.
Longo might not play next series. I mean, the Diamondbacks have to make a decision. Like, I know Emmanuel Rivera is not necessarily the guy out there, but if you keep putting Longo in these games when they face lefties, Jordan Montgomery, Andrew Heaney, whoever's going to end up starting, then it puts Pham out in right field, and I think that downplays this defense. And Longo's hitting 135 in the postseason. It's not looking good. And I think that might be a tough decision for the Diamondbacks to sit him. He's got so much street cred, but does he still play this next round every game?
Good pinch hitter to have off the bench. I think that'd
be
nice.
The question is if you take Longo off, who do you replace him with? Do you replace him with a Jace Peterson, or do you replace him with another pitcher?
I'm not saying take him off the roster. I'm saying he's not starting. I think Emmanuel Rivera is out there. He was out there both Ranger starts. I think you give him his opportunities. He had a good at-bat. Rivera had a great at-bat against Hoffman. Hit that rocket that Bohm went to his right down the line and made a nice play. I just think I think it's something to look at because they're going up against another powerhouse lineup that, again, Brent Strom he's ready for it. Brent Strom he went into his scouting report book from last year's World Series and looked to see what they did against the Phillies, and he did a good job. They did a good job of executing it in four of the 7 games. Now he's got all his books for the Rangers since he was in that division last year. Oh, yeah. It's going to be exciting.
You're talking about Strom?
Yeah.
Brent Strom.
This is his second year, isn't it?
No. I thought he won the World Series last year and then left. And they left it to Murph.
Yeah, I thought he left after last year.
I'm having my last year and year before.
I know there's so many. Well, the Astros have been in the World Series like every year, so it's hard to keep up with them.
No. Because last year was when the Astros got rid of their GM.
Yes.
And I don't think that happened in the same year. So, never mind. Brent Strom doesn't know what he's doing. But.
Okay, perfect.
He still knows the division. But yes, agreed. Also, there's one more shout out I wanted to give for Mike. Second here, by the way. Mike Hazen also made a nice little deal. This was the last part. I was like adding up the roster moves that he's made over the last year. Okay, hold on. Hey, Ross Atkins. How you doing, dude? Gabriel Moreno. You already have 2 catchers, and they're playing. They've been in the bigs already. Kirk's an all-star. Jansen fits the role well for you as kind of the backup there. You don't need Gabriel Moreno. I mean, you do, but you don't have a place for him. And we do have a gutsy ball player who can move, who actually used to catch, named Dalton Varsho. And he's well-liked. And we can send you Varsho. Yeah, not just Moreno. I think we should take Gurriel off your plate, too. He's got a pretty good hit tool, but you don't really need him. I mean, you guys have plenty of offense. All right, thanks. Loser. They were probably like, we got
how
him.
much? And before I even get into what you just were talking about, how much do you like role playing?
A lot. It's fun.
He loves it. He said everybody should role play.
I mean, there's a lot of questions I have of what happens away from this show.
Guys, we just got Moreno. And they're like, holy shit, for Varsho. Yeah. And then he's like, and Lourdes Gurriel. That's a heist. That's an immediate heist right now. Dalton Varsho's had a rough year. And Gabriel Moreno already looks like a star catcher. He handles the position well. You guys are catchers. I mean, tell me what you see from both behind the plate.
He's going to be great.
He's their 3
Gets
hitter.
big hits. Gets huge hits tonight, obviously. Driven the game-winning run.
He's their 3 hitter. He's 23. And he's a good catcher. I mean, how hard is it to find something like that?
Pretty hard. Most teams,
really
listen, you don't make it to the World Series without having a great catcher.
Nope.
Right, but most of them can't hit. Like Maldonado's been there so many times, he can't hit.
Heim can hit.
Heim can hit. JT Realmuto can hit.
Moreno can hit.
Yeah, we've got some of the better hitting catchers who also can play the position that are making it far. What a shock. Just like the Giants had with Posey for years.
Mm-hmm.
Maldonado's an anomaly. You need a dude.
Yes.
You can't just have a hole in the lineup.
And he was also in the perfect place.
Exactly. Like that's not standing. Had Christian Vasquez last year kind of hit some when he went there, they would have given him a shot. But even then, Dusty loves him. You can't hit 160. Believe me, if there's somebody that knows about hitting 160 in the show, you can't hit 160 and continue to stay there without a freaking great eye behind the plate and a manager that is all on board with you. So AJ couldn't have said it better. You do not win without a good catcher back there. So if you're listening to this and your team did not make the playoffs, please look at your catcher because you need to upgrade there if you do not have a good catcher.
Rake and Bake said, reminds me of a young Real Muto. I mean, he doesn't run like
he's not as
JT.
athletic as
Yeah,
JT
not as
was.
athletic. But hit tool might be better.
I think JT might have more power.
No.
JT more pop.
And more speed.
JT's another level. I know I got a man crush on JT, not like Papelbon does, but who, by the way, I just figured out that Papelbon lost out on $150,000 because he had the Phillies winning.
He did.
I just thought about that, but
yeah, he put 10 G's on the Phillies in July?
And they were plus
July.
1,500?
Plus 150 or 1,500? Yeah, plus 1,500.
Plus 1,500, yeah. He would have won 150 G's. And he said he wasn't hedging because he never hedges. So,
well, that's how he lives his life, and he's done it well. Okay, so let's do two things. Number one, your player of the game for Game 7.
Foul territory player of the game.
It's a nice signature for Corbin Carroll, the rookie. I mean, geez, save some bucket list shit for the rest of your career, Corbin. Dude signs a $100 million contract before he starts the season. He's going to win Rookie of the Year, and he has a chance to win the World Series. Should he just retire? Like him and Mad Dog just retire after this season and be like, cool, all right, I did it all. I'm kidding. But like, geez, I mean, how many dudes are going to be jealous as hell of what Corbin Carroll's doing? And also, it looks like there's even more of a ceiling still for him, Kratz. I mean, dude's got crazy pop for his size. He's capable of stealing, probably 70 bags. It's amazing that he's only year one. I mean, he's the best player on the team.
He's the best player on the team. He's going to get MVP votes. I think he'll probably be top 10 in the MVP voting. My issue with him, and I talked to his high school hitting coach when we were out at the All-Star game, he said he's so fast twitch and he's so twitchy when he's out there that at some point, is that going to ever slow down? Like, how many real twitchy guys that are small hammer the ball like that early, and then how does their career continue to progress? How do they stay healthy will be the thing for him. Like, oh, he might not stay healthy. This dude, every facet of the game, he does things. Besides, the only thing I've seen him do wrong is that throw he made to the plate last night, but it didn't end up hurting him too bad. But he gets after it. He gets after it at the plate, on the bases. 70 bases, I don't know. That would be a lot.
He has one weakness, and that is the throwing arm.
He throws like Johnny Damon.
Yeah. If you look at his stat test,
I hate to say that because Johnny's my guy.
Yeah,
but he throws like, remember the time Johnny threw it and Manny Ramirez cut it off for the inside of the park over? Like, he throws like Johnny Damon.
Yeah. Well, nowadays though, like maybe he'll go to Driveline and improve his throwing velocity or something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Mean, he's only a rookie. You know, who knows? I mean, he's ranked like, I don't know, 15th or 20th percentile, something really low in terms of the throwing arm. All right, lastly, let's spin this.
111 million. Before you say it, 111 million they signed him for, with 100 and some at bats from last year. If you have a future young stud, Orioles, just know it's going to cost you more than 111 million. So don't go into the store thinking that you're going to buy a brand new set of AirPods for $10. Well, no, you're paying full price for your studs these days. $111 million for Rookie of the Year, and the Orioles, hello, you have two Rookie of the Year candidates.
The Orioles won't do it. The Orioles already
spent $300 million.
The Orioles should have already done it. The Orioles should have done it.
And Gunnar, well, we'll get to it another time. Obviously, we do this show Foul Territory every single weekday, 1 to 3 Eastern. We'll do post-game shows for every World Series game. So lastly,
you guys will.
Right, you're going to miss some. That sucks. You're missing out. You're going to have FOMO. So
I'm going to be at the games.
You're not at all the games.
Oh, wow.
I'm at least going to 3 and probably 4 now because Arizona's a long way from here.
You're going to 4 games?
No, 3 and 4.
Oh, games.
Why are you going to Arizona? Is it a big
Where
Fox
else?
party? Look at us. We're going to eat some steak together, and everybody's going to hang out and touch each other's hands.
What?
Things are getting weird.
What? Yeah, I don't even know. Like, this is weirder than Brown role playing.
Hold on. What's that? Last thing. We have days to preview, so we'll do most of that the next few days, what this World Series will look like with the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. Lastly, real quick, who's starting game 1? Who's starting game 1 for both sides?
Monty,
Montgomery,
and Gallen.
And Gallen?
Yeah.
Evaldi and Gallen.
Evaldi and Gallen. Okay. We shall see. Let us know in the comments what you think of this and who you think you should start for both sides in game 1. Your thoughts, predictions, the whole deal on the World Series. And we will be previewing the World Series, which starts on Friday. Post-game shows right here on Foul Territory after every single game. Real talk. We appreciate the FT fam, and we'll see you on the next one.